It is finally time. Asana Mutsuba now lockable in Duel Links, our brand new 7th character, and she is bringing her WYRM deck with the big Maxim monster that's kind of like sliithering away against tap points, pop a field spell to draw some cards. It's going to be pretty fun when the box does drop in a few hours time, but we have the brand new event. It is a gate farming event. There is a mission panel featuring card artwork that we just can't get in the game. Just this is Gantry Dragon, I believe. There's another one here on the left side here that we're not getting, which is a little bit weird. So potentially, you know, in a couple weeks time, maybe there's a super mini with more support for Asana. That would be kind of cool. But in terms of event reward cards, new cards, right? First of all, is the SR Vanilla Drillzard. This is a level 3 weak body. You'll play if you need a name, but that's about it. Even bigger though is the Prime Howling. This is your back row removal spell card for worms, but it doesn't work like other ones. Instead, it puts the card on the bottom of your opponent's deck, which is really big because A, they can't recur it, and B, they won't see it until the very end of the duel, so you've got kind of some leeway, and I like this being ultra rare because it is farmable prismatics, which you'll kind of want to play in your deck. So it's not the most exciting reward cards, right, but it'll do for the moment. So going into Asana, what do we have? And this is where things kind of are a bit disappointing because we know rush characters are going to give us like 3 cards each, and they're not going to be that great. So first of all is the Pylon. This is a vanilla. It's useful for some of the skills we're going to be getting, and down the line, it'll be used for a brand new fusion, the Build Dream, which can send a field spell to the graveyard to pop 2 monster opponent controls. This is going to be really, really big eventually, right? You know, could be around September we get fusion summoning, could be next year, we don't know, but at least there's some more support for this card coming down the line. Then we've got level 7, the Constructor Fairy. Send a worm from your graveyard to draw 1 card. Of course, Asana's deck is all about drawing cards, again the maximum getting attack points, but also for our skill that works when you have 10 or less cards in your deck. This will get you there, a bit slowly, but it'll get you there eventually. And also, like the last card, there is also a fusion coming down the line, so Asana getting more support down the line, so might be a worthwhile deck to invest in now, who knows. Then for our last brand new card, we have got the level 6 Big Roller. Now this is going to be your prime target for your Build Dragon, which is available via the box as an ultra, I believe, or a super rare, maybe one of those two, and it'll be your special summon from the graveyard. This is fine, right? With the field spell becomes 23, not a terrible stat for level 6, so overall card-wise, yeah, it's just, it's kind of a bit boring, but that's kind of thing of Rush, right? If we go back to, say, Nail, and see what he had, right? He had the Mani, the back removal, and the Femtron. And so this was, like, I think a immediately more usable level up war track, but I think they've kind of flipped it with Asana. These cards will be used because skills mandate them. So, speaking of skills, we have the first skill, the Russian Excavator skill. This is your default skill. Gives you the non-overrush rare pieces in your deck, which is interesting. You know, you can play the skill now if you want to, and try the card out, but again, without all the other worm cards, this is still just kind of to be ignored, really. Then we've got Construct Blistopia, which is the, not the better skill. It does pseudo-lock your deck into worms only, which I guess is fine, and on turn it onwards, choose a face of normal monster control or a Constructed Worm Build Dragon, and give it 300 attack points at the end of the turn. Okay, becomes 28. Then, if it was the Vanilla Pylon, you can shove the card in your hand into the deck, then add a field spell from your deck or graveyard to hand. Now, the idea is, you search out the field spell, you play your Build Dragon, play the effect, and break a worm from the graveyard, and then potentially go to another tribute summon, or just have a big body on the board. This, I think, is the second best skill she has, and potentially could be the one they go for. It's a bit weird right now because of how the other skill works, but we'll take a look at it. Then we've got the big one, Maximum Excavator. This one is obtainable level 18, so a little bit of grinding, but not too bad. And all the cards in your deck must be worms. That is the big thing. And at the moment, the worms we're getting don't seem to be that great on the lower end, right? And so I think that's going to be where this skill kind of falls flat a bit. You choose a monster in the field, gains 100 tap points, then if there are 10 or less cards in your deck when you use a skill, that card does piercing damage. And if you've got the field spell in your field, you can search out one of the maximum pieces from your graveyard back to your hand. Now, the issue I have with the skill is, if you're searching out the maximum pieces, then surely you'll want to summon the maximum on that turn potentially, given it's a once per duel skill, and you want that card to have the piercing damage, which you just give it to another card. So it doesn't feel that great in my opinion. for that specific use case, but in terms of just buffing up other bodies, giving them some piercing, it's fine. It's kind of having a mirror innovator every turn, which I guess could be cool. But again, it's when you're on the back foot. And at that point, you're the one going to be setting cards face down rather than your opponent. So I'm not too sure. Then we've got the Pride of the Three Cavaliers, which is a support skill. It's kind of nothing skill, right? Because if all of the big monsters in your deck are these three, plus an Earth Legend, then during the turn you summoned either one of these cards, right, you can Book of Moon opponent's monster. Now, this would be good, right, if it was a Book of Moon in face-down defense, because then you could play a Boring Kong's effect. But because of this, you can't. Also, there's no way to give these cards piercing right now. So, it's like, it just feels a little bit weird. All of Asana's skills feel a bit weird. It feels like they're trying to fix a problem that isn't the main gimmick of the deck. I think. At least, I think. But this skill, it's not going to see play. Then we've got Blue Medicine Deal, which again is fine. Gravity Draw. Hammer Crush Deal is always appreciated. Going to be now on, I think that's almost every important character, basically. One side reverse draw, the maximum skill Gaze of the Emperor. We've got Sparks as well. And that is all of the skills Asana has. And overall, I'm just not too sure what to kind of think of this entire release in Rush Duel, right? Because I think there's some cool stuff in the box, right? I'm looking forward to the Busted Blader and Guard Staff, even if it might not be the most amazing deck in the world. Of course, we have Asana's Maximum coming and her other cards as well. We've got the Plant deck coming, which seems to be the strongest deck from this brand new box. But I don't see the excitement that previous boxes have had, or previous characters, and it's a bit disappointing because I personally was really looking forward to Asana, and I feel like I should skip this Rush box, but at the same time, I don't really want to. It's just, I'm not too sure. Of course, gonna level her up, gonna get the gems and the cards, and we'll see how things go when the box drops tomorrow. Hopefully, this deck is better than it kind of seems. But overall, Asana is just kind of there for the moment, right? Because again, we've seen that this card and this card down the line are going to be useful for fusion summoning. And so it might mean that Asana just kind of, over time, becomes way more important of a character than she seems right now. At least in terms of cards, right? But we'll see. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the brand new character. Of course, tomorrow will be the box opening, probably. If I don't open it at 2 AM in the morning, we'll have to find out. But yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you on next one's video. See you then.